Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. We're back in here after a day of a ton of paperwork and a ton of real estate searching. Oh, it's so hard to it's so hard to buy a house now. It's just there's a lot to it. So also sold one of the wheels, one of the 949 uh, 6ULs is gone. Met a really nice guy who's big Miata fan. He's got a bunch of Miatas, so he's going to use that as one of his spares. He's putting together a whole collection. He just wanted one out of the three. That's all right. Still got the other two up for sale. The other thing, the Urus is not in here yet. The bumper is, the paint is still drying on that, and then it needs to be wet sanded and a polish coat and, or no, a final gloss, and that needs to be wet sanded, and then a 2 coats of clear, the super clear, to get that piano black. So the Urus will probably be in here tomorrow or Tuesday, and then I'm out of town and I will be on location with you guys. Hopefully I'll be on location with you guys in Florida, and if not, I'll be over on Facebook and I'll be doing lives over there, so you guys can join me there. And we'll do a ton of lives because we've got a whole bunch of car stuff and a whole bunch of beach stuff, and it'll be a little bit more um, it'll be a little bit warmer. I promise it'll be a lot warmer. So tonight we are working on this guy, our Toyota MR6, and I wish it would focus. I wish it would stop doing that uh, close focus. Last night we did the testing with the new gauge, which bombed out. That gauge was DOA from the box, and then we've got the sensor itself, which actually works great. So we're going to use the sensor, and we're going to test that out tonight to make sure. Whoa, hey, where did the fireworks come from? Who sent that? That was cool. I've never seen that before. Those fireworks just kind of popped out of nowhere. We're going to test out the sensor and make sure that the sensor works with our current wiring. So I'm going to bring you guys into the car. We're going to hop into the car real quick and get it set up, and then we'll come back out. We'll raise the car. We'll get underneath it. We will wire in the sensor and then get it warm and then check the heat. So I'm going to move a couple of things around. Hopefully you guys will stay with me. It'll just take a second here. And let's not forget that we are brought to you by Rockstar. I have no idea what number this is today. Oh, yeah. It's all right. We've got another one over there. The other thing about next week, well, this week we're going to Florida. I come back next week. As soon as I get back, I go in for the last of my surgeries, and it's kind of they're like very small surgeries. I don't go out. I just get locals. And the finals, all the stuff for my mouth, will all be done within like 2 weeks. So my face is going to look a little different. First off, I'll have shaved, but my face is going to look a little different. So don't freak out on it. Excuse me. I'm going to bring you guys with me. Whoever did that fireworks thing, that was really cool. All right, let's lower this down. Getting messages as I'm coming down, and I'm going to bring you guys down in here with me. And where is it? There it is. There we go. That should give you a little better view inside the car. I can get you closer. Hang on a second here. Hang on a second here. I'm just going to move the lift arm out of the way. And then I can bring you guys in, basically inside. What do we got here? bring you guys inside the cabin with me. There you go. Now you're basically in the car. All right. It is still really cold here. Do not need the steering wheel right now. Get this door open. And what I'm going to do, I know you guys would rather have me sitting here. It's so weird to get in and out on the passenger side. Okay. Whoa, keyboard. That's just the keyboard. So we're going to take these jumpers off. We're going to take these jumpers with us. We're going to use them under the car. My green and yellow. We're going to take our oil temp sensor with us as well. And we're going to plug our wiring back in. And on this end, it is basically one plug. So there we go. Just a bullet connector, and he should work. I'll put the key in just because we're going to use that. So now we have our old gauge plugged in. He's wired, he has power, he has light, and he will have signal here as soon as we get underneath the car. We're going to use the heat gun again to heat up that temp sensor before we spill oil all over the place. If the temp sensor works and shows temp on here, then we're going to take the old sensor out and be as quick as we can and put the new sensor in. So we don't want to lose a lot of oil. All right, so we're doing this, and I'll try and only raise the car up enough where you guys can still see in here and still see that this guy is showing temp. This guy won't show pressure because we're not going to start the car. I did that earlier. The guy who was down here, he really liked the car. He thought it was pretty cool. So, but the keyboard, I need a better mount. We have this full-size keyboard, and I need like a magnetic mount or something for it, so he stays put. We have our countdown clock. This is our countdown clock, which goes up here on the dash, and when it turns black, that means it's time to come in. That means your session, your time in the car, you've done a half hour, 45 minutes, or whatever. But I need little magnets on the keyboard, something so I can stick it right here and he'll stay put. So we'll do that at a different time. Since I have this out, this is our power for our hotspot. And since he is currently out right now, nope. I'm going to see if I can route this cable up and out of the way, because I have a different power cable. The one that we had in here was like 5 feet long, and it is entirely unnecessary to have a cable that long. So I'm going to have to do both of these to get back here. And yes, this car has a heater. It does not have AC, but it does have a heater. And I mainly did that because being in Ohio here, oh, I just need to stay on just inside of this, our 12-volt power outlet, which I can do maybe right here, maybe, if he lets me come up through there on the other side, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Here in Ohio, we get a lot of, I didn't want it to go that way. It's cold, and the windshield can fog up very easily. And so I made sure that we had some kind of air movement through here so that we could, now what the hell is he caught on? He can't be caught on anything. Oh, he's caught on the 12-volt light. So we want him up through here. and then to come back. So he's going to go back here and then up, but he needs to stay on that side of the power outlet, and we'll get him lined back up and mount it back in here. Yeah, the heater core and blower motor and all of that, I took it all completely apart, like the entire heater box assembly. It has a brand new heater core, which is very nice, and the blower motor worked perfectly, so I left that in there, and it all got cleaned out and painted and new foam for all the doors. All the springs were cleaned up and all of that stuff. All the wiring triple checked, and the heater and fan in here work really, really great. Plus, in the summer, we needed to get heat out of here because of all the computer gear. So we wanted to make sure that all the computer gear that's down there stayed nice and cool. So there we go. We've got our USB-C, which is our power for our hotspot, and it plugs in right there. So he is happy where he is. Just stay up there. All right, and this thing, when you sit in this seat, you are right at the corner of this mirror, and you get really close to it. All right, so we are plugged in up here. We have all of our wiring done for our 2 gauges. We're all set. I'm going to go get you guys set up, and I'm going to raise the car, and we're going to get underneath the car, and we're going to test that sensor before we put it in. I just want to make sure that the sensor reads up here. So give me a minute to get out of this thing. So much easier getting out on the driver's side than on the passenger side. Whoops. Got caught up on the hockey puck here. Okay. All right, we'll get you guys moved. Get you a slightly better vantage point. I have to be careful. I can pull this thing right out of its socket. I don't want to do that. There we go. Get you guys up at kind of a human level here. And why does it keep defocusing like that? I don't know. I'm going to have to check the settings on the camera. Let me check in here really quick. Not in here. But I don't know why it keeps on the background. Everything keeps going out of focus. There we go. That works a lot better. Okay. Whoa, come back here. Okay. Now the other stuff is in focus. I don't know why it was in that other mode. So, I'm sorry, I got you guys in the wrong spot here. I'm gonna bring you back around. There we go. And we'll get the MR6 up in the air. And let me grab this stuff first so that I don't have to get it off the roof. We'll just set it in our chair here. And this cover can actually go back on that steering wheel. I think I need to get the car lined up again because it did roll a little bit this afternoon when that guy was here. Yeah. it rolled forward. So let's bring it back a little bit, maybe. Let's do this. There we go. Last thing I want is this thing to fall. And you guys are here. No offense. I don't want it to fall ever. Okay. It's going to come forward a little. Can't be that far back. Under here, there are 2 notches. And those are your jacking points on the seam weld, pinch weld. And you want to make sure that your lift arms are on those. As close to center on those as possible. So that's what we're doing. There we go. Car's not quite dead center in here. It's pretty close. It's a little bit to the right side. So we get the car lifted up. I need to get the battery maintainer off of here. Wow. Is it really that warm under here? Oh, no, it's from the heater. Yeah, this guy isn't very warm at all. Okay. So get him unplugged. Okay. Extension cord out of the way. Now we can raise the car. Okay. Well, since I have the cage, well, I can't reach the keys anyway. I'll have to get a, yeah, but I don't really want to get a ladder. So we're going to do this a little bit different. Because I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So if I raise it up too high, I can't, the computer can't come in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the sensor and these jumpers and I'm going to hook it up underneath, and then I'm going to take the heat gun and I'm going to heat up the sensor. After we power on the car, I'm going to heat up the sensor, and that should give us a reading. So if you give me a minute, it's going to take me a minute to get under the car and set this up. And like I said before, this plugs into where the oil filter goes. There's a housing there. And we have one on the other side, which is for oil pressure. This one is for oil temperature. And it's a housing that's made for that. So you can put different sensors in there. There's 4 different ports. So we have the 2 ports there. And that was an add-on that we did. So I'm going to grab my little headlamp. And this guy's just going to get set up temporarily. I need my extension cord and my heat gun. And I put the heat gun away earlier, but he can always come right back out. So, extension cord. I got to get this Urus bumper out of here. This thing just, it's so huge, and you got to be really careful with it because it's very expensive. So power up the light. Let's get this guy set up. I might bring the car further down too, depending on where I get this sensor set up at. So you can set there. And then we have our ground, which is our big guy right there. And I believe blue is our ground. So we'll do that here. And then yellow is our signal. And our signal wire is plugged back in, but we can dig him out, I think. Yeah, I can dig him out. Okay. Okay. Whoa, come back here. All right. So, oh, my lamp died. That's okay. So we have our ground and our signal hooked up. And we can actually bring this up a little. Try and even these out a little because they're going to be hanging here for a few minutes. We'll get our heat gun plugged in. All right, and we're just going to put them on low. Then we're going to lower the car. We'll lower the car down so that heat gun is right. Okay, it literally dropped onto it, like right into it. All right, that's a little too close. All right, hang on. I thought I had this set up a little better, but I obviously did not. So nope. All right. There we go. Okay. This is difficult. It's a huge ab workout at the same time, which is, I'm sure, amusing for everyone out there. All right. Everything's being held. Okay. That should be pretty close. I can't believe he dropped right into it. That was pretty amazing, actually. All right. Okay. This one's pretty close. So I just have the heat gun pointing up at the sensor. That's it. So let's power up the car. And let's see what we've got. If it starts to read. You guys want to come in here with me? And take a look. Whoa, inside the car. And we're watching that gauge on the left side there. And As soon as he gets over 110, that's 40 degrees Celsius. As soon as he gets over 110, he should start reading. And this guy should be well over 110 by now. And he's not reading. So let's take a look down here. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a sec. Where did my yellow go? Okay. I thought that was kind of weird. Okay. Hey, guess what we got? 68, 69, 70. So we now have our oil temp gauge working again. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. That gauge is the one we're looking at. 75, he's going up and up and up. So we do have a sensor that works, and that's great news. Our wiring works all the way back to the sensor, and now we just have to replace that sensor. So we can power off here and raise the car. We'll power off the heat gun too. And we'll take that sensor out of the oil filter base plate, put in the new sensor, we'll be done. The only thing I have to do is change the connectors from bullet connectors to spade connectors. Okay. So you can turn this off. Come here. Set him to the side. Let him cool down. And now we know our sensor works, which is great. And up here on the left side, we have our, hey, now that's really warm. That has been heating up for a while. We have our ground on the one side and our signal wire on the other. So we're done with the jumpers. Those can go back in electrical. And since we're in electrical, we're going to look for our spade terminals that we need. And here's a good waterproof male. And here is a good waterproof male. Depending on what size wire we have. Lots of waterproof males. I don't know where the, I got a right angle waterproof female, which would also work. I guess that's all I have for those waterproofs. Let's check our other connectors box and see what we've got in here, because we do have some heat shrink ones that will work very well as well. Like that. Female heat shrink. Those are all butt connectors. It sucks because these are all kind of mixed in. The spades and the U's and all of that. Everything's kind of mixed in here. So there is a male spade. I think these are pretty much all. There's a female. Cool. And I think these are small enough. I think they're small enough for the 20 gauge. So these connectors, these are called bullet connectors. And you can see you have a male and a female end. Whoops, come here. And they go together like that. So we're going to change them to a spade connector, and this is called a spade connector. The spade connector, you have male and female. And the spade connector goes in like so. And these are heat shrink guys, and that makes them very nice. So leave our little plastic bits on here. Get our nice wire cutters. Now, these are always fun because these are braided connectors or braided wire. Makes it a little more difficult to strip. Just have to be a little bit more careful because usually they're kind of solid core wires under, not solid core, still braided, but they're definitely firmer wires underneath there. And you get a lot of fraying. See all that fraying that happens? So you got to trim all that stuff away. That's why we have these really cool, super sharp scissors. And that helps trim away that fraying that you don't want, especially when you're trying to wire stuff, because this is insulator, so it's not a good connector. Trying to get to this stuff, it's not easy. There we go. You're going to be careful not to cut the wires, just cut the insulator. So we have two nice wires here. We're going to grab our Super Duty crimpers. And before that, we need to know which one is which. So let's take a look up here. And our blue, that doesn't help me at all. Our white is a female connector. So single white female. That's the easy way to remember it, right? And yeah, somehow there's leaves in here. I don't know how that happens. So I just had the crimpers. There they are. Okay. All right. That guy went in very nicely. Do this guy now. Rotate him 180. Now with this one, it's really tight in there. It's difficult to tell. You can't really see through the heat shrink. But he went all the way in. And he did. So now we come back here and give him a crimp. And, oh, those are not very strong connectors. So now we've switched them over to blade connectors, and I left these bullet things in here. I'm just going to stuff them in the heat shrink to help grab on when the heat shrink comes down. It's just another level of protection. It's not hurting anything, but hopefully it's going to help. I can stuff that guy in there. He's a slightly smaller diameter. And these will get heat shrunk once they're connected. This guy will actually get a little piece of heat shrink over him. I thought I had another piece here, but we're going to do another piece of heat shrink over this guy. Because even though the female end has heat shrink on it, I still want them to stay connected. I don't want them coming loose. So we're done with that. We're done with this. Close that up. Close this up. Now comes the fun part, because we want to minimize the oil leakage. And there shouldn't be a ton in there, but I also don't want to find out how much, right? So let's disconnect this. And I'm going to cut those two zip ties so this whole connector can come out by itself. Let's take a look at our size here. I think he's a 12. I do think he's a 12. What do you know? I'm right. All right. So we're going to put a little bit of thread paste on here. Hopefully that keeps stuff from leaking. Doesn't take much, especially with these really fine threads. This is 1/8 NPT, which is, want to say 27 threads per inch. It's pretty fine thread. It's good for getting nice and tight in a sealing area. So we're going to have leakage. Damn it. All right, this is how it goes. So where'd my 1/2 inch go? Hopefully we don't have a ton of leakage. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut those zip ties up there to get the two leads out of the split loom. I'm also Going to bring the oil catch over. Just in case things get wonky. Okay. I was like, I cut the head off that zip tie. There's no way he's still on there. All right. Zip tie is cut, and we're going to grab this guy just in case. He's very full after those 2 oil changes this weekend. All right. I have no idea where he's going to drip from. I guess we'll find out, right? All right, here we go. Try not to make a gigantic mess. Damn, this thing was really in there. He had heated up pretty severely. You know what's really funny is the dipstick tube is the biggest thing in the way here. Now, we have both of those out there. All right, cool. All right. Getting nice and loose. Still can't see if he's leaking or not. Okay, he is just finger tight in there, which means I can get this guy ready. Keeps a little wrench in my back pocket. As soon as this guy comes out, okay, well, oh, come on, thread in there. Now this guy doesn't want to thread in there. Shit, are you kidding me? All right, so here's our old sensor out, and he doesn't look damaged or frayed or anything like that. He actually looks okay. So we'll test him out too. I guess we don't really have to. We've already seen what he did. But, all right, let's get this guy threaded in here. Oh, come on. There he goes, I think. Yeah. It's funny, when you do this long enough, you can actually feel stuff working. You can feel how tight a piston ring is. You can feel threads gripping properly. You can feel threads gripping improperly. You can feel all that stuff just with your fingers, or how much you're pulling on something or pushing on something. becomes muscle memory or whatever. Oh, why is this twisting? Come on, you guys. Lead wires got caught behind the dipstick and they were just twisting around. But I can't see that because I have the oil cooler lines in the way. Our oil cooler lines come out of the bottom of this insert here. So okay. It's getting very difficult to turn this. Now, the other good news is if for some reason this one doesn't work, I have more oil temp sensors on the way, and they're pretty easy to replace. I'm having to use this short stubby wrench because the standard wrench isn't going to fit in there. Okay, so put this guy out of my way. And wipe him off because he had some thread sealant on him. Put the 12 back. Grab some Rockstar. Hopefully you guys are kind of enjoying this. Or giggling. That's fine. You can do that too. So let's get this plugged in. Just to go behind the dipstick tube. And the first one we're going to need is our signal wire red, which comes up to the female up here. And he gets attached and goes back into the split loom. All right, right there. And then our ground goes up to this guy, which is our other ground, which is right here is a male. What? Damn it. Really? Oh, crap. What the hell? All right. What a huge pain. How the hell is that All right. So we need to change this to a female, and that is going to be a very difficult thing to do where it's currently at. All right, let's do see if we can find another one. I got lucky on that. One female connector. I don't know if I'm going to get so lucky here. Oh, butt connector, ring, butt connectors. If I was smart, I'd just do a butt connector, right? If I was smart, I'd just solder it. But we need to be able to replace these. So that's why we're doing it this way. No. Let's see what we've got in this. These are all the huge eyelets. It would be very surprising if we used all of the female connectors from this kit, but not, oh crap, not all of the male connectors. I'm dropping stuff. Oh, wait. What do we got here? We got a female here. All right, here we go. And this guy fell down. Woo! All right. So we're just going to crimp this guy back on. If I can get the pliers up there, it's a pretty tight fit, you know? So let's see. Oh, what did I do with that rubber section? There it is. Okay. All right. He'll go in there. So. All right. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get this up there. This is very difficult to aim. I'm squeezing and I'm hoping. Nice. Got him. Okay. There's that. And then we'll do that heat shrink later. Okay. So there we go. Let's try this ground now. Okay. There we go. Oh, wait. I'm off of there. You need to go behind the dipstick and then to the ground. Because otherwise, the split worm doesn't work right. Okay. Now, let's get this heat shrunk. It is a power tool, and I apologize. So I'll try to be kind of quiet with it. Nice. All right. Okay, shrinking down nicely. And I'm not too worried about it because the heat from the engine is going to shrink this as well. So let's get to our other one, which is far more difficult because he is behind the oil cooler lines, and it's going to burn my fingers if I do it that way. So, oh, come on. This sucks. I don't have a good way to get the heat gun in there to get to him. Maybe from this side. Yeah, kind of. There we go. Okay, now it's just burning the split limb, which I don't want to do. Okay. All right. We are heat shrunk. Now we can tuck this guy into our split limb here. Maybe. He's a little tight because it's a bigger connector. Split limb is not liking it. There we go. Split limb's okay. All right, and then once we get up here, we can move that heat shrink over this guy to right there. There we go. And he will heat up. And now this is totally blind because I have the oil cooler lines in the way that I can't see past, and I have the dipstick in the way that I also can't see past. So, yeah, I got it. I got him in there, I think. Oh, yeah. Okay. Flip back. Come on, heat shrink or split limb. There you go. Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. I'm going to get a couple of small zip ties on there. We can just use the regular guys. That'll be fine. This guy's not going to work. This guy will work. Okay. There's one. And here comes the next one. We're going to do him right on the connector. All right. Let's see if I can get up in here and trim this. Okay, there we go. There's one trimmed. Now I need to make sure that the other wires up top are still in the split limb as far as they can go. They kind of are. Let's see. We can't get them a little bit more. I think they're Okay. There's just a lot of the pressure wires in there as well. So there we go. Work on that tight. Yeah, that'll work out good. All right. Let's get this trimmed. Okay. We're done under here. Now, we just need to start the car and run it and make sure everything works. So we cannot do that. Whoops, we cannot do that inside because I will die of carbon monoxide poisoning. How does this not stay in its track? Okay. Dropped a couple down here. Another female that I was looking for. Okay. So put these guys away. By the way, you can get these connectors on Amazon. This is a what, 560 piece, and it does a whole bunch of different wire sizes. They have the heat shrink connectors built in, which is very, very, very helpful. Or the heat shrink is part of them, you know, which is very, very, very helpful. So they're pretty cheap kits, not expensive. I just thought of something. I think we can test this without starting the car. I think if I get the heat gun on the oil filter housing, it will get warm enough at least to give me a reading. So let's try that. So we'll bring this down and we'll see if just the heat on there will be enough to give us a reading, and that'll tell us if we're repaired or not. Right? That's the theory. It takes a while for this car to come down because it's so light. It's only 2,400 pounds, so it takes a while for it to sink. Like my truck on here just goes boom, boom. The limo, boom. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, I'm gonna have to crawl under here again. I'm gonna have to crawl under here again and see how close I can get that to the temp sensor. Okay, come over here. Ah, this is difficult. Damn it. All right, well, what I can do is I can't even get it in there to get it on the sensor. I'm gonna get this guy really hot right here. Just the housing. Hopefully we get some kind of reading. Maybe that will work. Okay, I'm just gonna let him sit there. Ow, damn it. All right, he's blowing at 500 degrees, so we should have hopefully something here. Yeah, I don't have any reading on there. I'm gonna have to start the car and run it. It's just not getting warm enough. I don't know, I guess. No. The car's not getting warm enough for that sensor isn't getting warm enough. The heat's dissipating before it gets to that sensor. It's still at 40. So, oh well. I'll take the car outside and I'll just let it run for a few minutes. We'll see what happens. It shouldn't take that long, honestly. It really shouldn't take that long. Let that cool down for a sec. Bring the car down. And we'll just pop it outside while I finish up with you guys. Hopefully that's okay with you guys. Oh, damn it. All right, this has to come out. The extension cord has to come out of here. Or these arms won't go down far enough to get the car off. So, yeah, it's not reading anything right now. That's okay. This is, this is a good test. Oil temperature is not, insanely critical, but it isn't something nice to know. So we'll get the car started. I'll get it pulled out of here, and then we'll see. Wow, those fans are moving some air. I can feel it vibrating through here. All right, here we go. All right, get the door open, get it outside. Ooh, she runs a little rich. No steering wheel. Blow up steering wheel. Okay, so oil pressure is working. Let's see how oil temp does. Oh, forgot about my light under the car. Whoops. Good thing these guys fold. They're pretty durable. So we're going to close the garage door because it's just going to gas us out. And I'm going to go check on that thing. And I will be right back. You guys going to hang with me? Is that cool? Okay, I'll be right back. glad you guys are sticking around. It's at 49 right now. So it is working, and we are happy about that. I'm going to let the car run just a little bit longer. I'd like to get it into the 60s. That would make me pretty happy. And then I'll have a couple of spares. It's just kind of odd that the also go back in there and button up the dash. So that car will be ready to rock. It's just kind of odd that the sensors would go bad that quick. We've only had that thing. I mean, connectors are all good. I don't see any damage or anything on this that would make me think it's jacked up. But it is. So I'm going to let that thing get to 60. Let me check on it really quick, because once it starts, no problem. Yeah, we're at 54. So we're at 55. Just watch this and let the power on. Watch it make it before do a full power off. Lights are here. Turn off. Close the door. So there we go. A little bit more than an hour to test out the temp sensor and test the wiring and get it installed. So let's see how this guy goes. Cool off fairly quickly. That's one of those things when I do bulletproof cars, I test not only that they work firing up, but they work firing off and turning off and powering down. It's one of those weird things where I like to know that it works both ways. I guess it's probably the easiest way to put that. So he went to 56 actually, which is kind of funny. It should be going down. Okay. See how it works. It's really hard to work with cars. I mean, look in any motorsports, the guys blow stuff up all the time. So 56. drop down, that would be really nice. That's I think that's about it for me tonight. Uh, Hopefully, you guys had a good time with this. They're still powered on. Let me get the battery maintainer on there just to make sure. Battery goes through a lot. Fully juiced. Also, this shop, my shop, and the New Albany Motorplex, we only use NOCO. We only use NOCO gear. This is the NOCO Genius 10, and literally the best battery maintainers out there. And I've been using them for well over a decade. And every single car that's had a NOCO on it started. Every single tractor, every single truck. So, cannot say that about the other brands that are out there. Can say that about this. So, that's why I use it. I am not paid by NOCO. They haven't given me a free sticker. Alone, maybe else. Cool. Going for some money. Right off. When I do get sponsored, I will let you guys know. Anytime, $80. Yay. And that's a crucial thing with cars, especially if you're in an area where you don't drive regularly. Like here in Ohio, we have several months where like I can't really take this car out. It's cold. So you have to put the car away and you don't have a battery maintainer or kill it. The other thing, conversely, in the heat, if you're in a very hot place like Arizona or New Mexico or Texas, having a battery maintainer is great because it'll drain it a little bit to help it maintain. And that's so it works both ways, both time, cold, and heat, all three ways. The NOCO stuff is decades ahead of everyone else. The closest one would be C-Tech. Stuff is okay. I would choose NOCO over C-Tech every time, but that's me. This is not cooling down, so power off all the way. Check it in a couple of minutes. Steering wheel cover back on. So this really nice, like $400 Momo steering wheel, and then I have a $12 Amazon cover for it. But the cover's great for when you're doing, working on the car and you have grubby hands and stuff. You don't want to jack up your nice wheel. This works really well. Just a cheap neoprene slip-on cover, and you can still drive with it. I wouldn't recommend with it, and we definitely don't race with it on. But it's just kind of a nice, handy thing, and it's the same, matches the same theme and everything. So you don't really notice it. I'm gonna let the computer shut all the way down, and I'll fire the computer all the way back up and check that in a few minutes. Should be cooling off. Well, the computer didn't fire up, so we just watch it for a few minutes. I'll watch it for a few minutes. You guys don't have to. We can call it a night. Oh no, the computer did fire up. Okay. Yeah. So not too bad. We got our oil temp back. We have our oil pressure, which is all that is very crucial when you're, especially when you're racing, but even if you're just driving. And we do have regular gauges in the car. The analog gauges that came with the car are all still hooked up. So the fuel, the temperature, the voltage, all that stuff is still working correctly in the regular spots. We added these just for the racing aspect. So that's about it for tonight. Good news, success. We're in a good spot. If you guys have any questions, definitely post them in the comments below. Happy to answer anything you guys got. If you want to see something different, I know you guys do a lot of stuff with the MR6 and with the limo, but I swear there's other cars that come in here. These are cars that I'm getting bulletproof a little bit at a time, an hour at a time. And it takes a while. So if there's something you guys want to see in here, other than the Urus or something like that, let me know. Especially before I go to Florida, I'm going to have a different shop in Florida. It'll be a totally different setup. But I'll still be doing the same thing, just different location. And the surroundings will be very familiar. The lift, I don't know about that, but the cabinets and the tools and everything else will all be very, very similar. So if you guys want, feel free to ask questions. Don't forget to subscribe. I love getting the notifications that someone else has subscribed to the channel. That's always great. And I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for everything. Don't forget to show someone that you love them today. It's really important, okay? Give them a kiss on the cheek. Give them a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important. It's important for them, and it's important for you. Okay? All right. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. And I will catch you on the next YouTube live, probably tomorrow night, probably with a different car in here. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.